Video is the most powerful way to convert leads online. That is, if you use a structured step-by-step process designed to convert your leads using video and connecting with your customer. So let's look at lead conversion with video and what the components are that you can put in place immediately to make sure that you're maximizing your chances of converting leads through your videos. Now, if you apply these steps in your videos, they will convert leads into sales. Look, I know I do this every single day, and I convert leads in our businesses every single day using these techniques. The first thing you need to realize is that people buy for emotional reasons. That is, that they want something, not need it. Then they justify with logical reasons. That is so that they can tell their wives, their best friends, etc. what they've done, and they don't feel like fools. Now that's really important because there's a thing called buyer's remorse. And if you get caught in buyer's remorse, it's got a number of consequences. The first consequence is that people feel unhappy with their purchase and thus unhappy with your service. The second consequence is that they may not buy more off you. And the third one is they won't refer other people. So you have to be very careful when you structure what you do online, that you do it ethically, but you tap into the emotional wants and justify why the customer buys the product. So let's look at the key components of the video lead conversion. There's 7 fundamental steps which need to be incorporated in your video or video series to convert a lead into a sale. Now, what you need to remember is that getting people to part with cash, particularly online, is one of the hardest things that you can do. So these 7 steps presume that you really understand your customer so well that you can connect with them and solve the problem that keeps them up at night. So the basic 7 steps are the emotional states of you and your customer, how you build trust with your customer, creating and sustaining interest in what you have to say, how to justify for your customer buying your product, creating leverage and tapping into the buying now emotion, converting the sale, and post-sale follow-up. So let's have a look at emotional selling states. All marketing and sales is a transfer of emotion, and when people get that, it becomes easier to sell their product. So the person that's passionate about their product or service, they will sell more product than the person that just sells it as a bit or piece or a service that they are trying to get someone to buy. So creating a video is not a mechanical exercise. It's a process of connecting to your customers' deepest needs and desires through the internet. You have to picture your customer at the other side of your conversation, and your emotional state will be apparent in your videos, and it'll affect your customer's buying state. So if you ain't passionate about what you do, then you have to find a way to get passionate, or I would say get out of it, because it will come through. It comes through in video, it comes through in everything you do. And both your customer's states and your state need to be managed throughout the process. You have to be managing states and building a buyer's expectation that what they're getting is worth what you're going to be charging. So it follows, when producing a video, you need to be in a state of connection with your customer. You need to feel what they're feeling and really talk to them through your videos. But also remember, an undisturbed prospect will not buy your service or product. And we'll come back to that a bit later. So let's look at building trust. If they're looking at your videos, you've got their attention. That is a privilege online these days because there is so much information, but there's very little wisdom online. So when you've got their attention, you need to build trust and authority with that customer that you know what you're talking about. You can do this by giving your best content away for free. Now, that's contrarian to most people. They say, well, if this is my best content, why would someone come and buy my product or service? It builds trust with people. It shows people that you really care about them and that you want to maximize their value and serve them. But it's not just your best. It's the best content that will massively enhance your prospect's life and connect with their deepest wants and needs. You need to create and sustain interest with your customer. And the only way to do that and to influence your customer is to deliver to them something that they want, something that they need, and something that will add so much value to their lives that they'll come back again and again, and it will keep them captivated in what you've got to say. So there's no point creating videos that will not be interesting to your customer. They'll just switch off and go somewhere else. It's milliseconds, the decision online these days, to go to someone's site. So when you got them there, you need to create this interest. So make sure what you're creating is interesting and is compelling to them, that they can walk away with something that they can implement straight away that will satisfy their wants and needs. It's a process of keeping your prospect in a heightened emotional state, taking them on a journey to the place that they want to buy your product or service. I liken this to someone knocking on my door and trying to sell me something straight away. Look, I've just peeked outside this door, I've seen this person, I don't know them, I don't trust them, and they're trying to sell me something. But as the process progresses, and if they catch my attention and they start building trust, I may just invite them into my world. I may just invite them in to say, well, give me a sneak peek at something else that you've got. And as that trust builds more and more and more, I'm more inclined to buy off that person. Now, if it satisfies my wants and needs, I'm sure to buy off that person. So justifying buying. The first thing you've got to do is overcome all objections one by one, so that there is only one decision left: to buy your offering. Now, I'm not saying that you do this in any way other than it is ethical and honest, but you need to overcome those objections. And if you believe in your product and service, this should be very easy. Now, everybody needs to justify their buying decision, either to themselves or someone else. And the objections to buying is what they've got to justify. So you're giving them a victory speech that they can say to themselves again and again to say why I bought that product or service. So make sure you feed enough reasons to your prospect that they can justify parting with money and explain their decision to their most intimate others, and they don't look like fools. It avoids buyer's remorse. Now, buyer's remorse can be a killer to a business. If someone's remorseful about buying a product or service from you, then that will affect your referrals, it'll affect future sales, and it'll affect your reputation, and that's really what you don't want. So creating leverage. Just understand that an undisturbed prospect will not buy, period. If they're in a state of contentment, they're not disturbed enough to buy a product or service that'll improve their life. So you need to create turbulence within your prospect. That if they do not buy now, they will lose out on something. Now that sounds pretty frank, pretty confronting, but it's a truism. That if someone isn't disturbed and has got a bit of turbulence inside them, they ain't gonna buy. That could be things such as last time offers, creating scarcity, losing out on time in life, creating money at this point in time, losing out on the share market, and those sort of things will create turbulence and disturb your prospect. Believe me, this is ethical if you believe wholeheartedly that your prospect will benefit from your product or service. It's actually your duty to sell this product or service to your prospect. And how do we convert sales? This is the biggest downfall in businesses online, and offline for that matter, is that they do not close the sale. Sometimes the most scary part for an entrepreneur is asking for money and converting the sales into money. You need to believe wholeheartedly that the customer needs to part with money for your offering. The money in their pocket is your money, and you will exchange extraordinary value for that money that will improve their lives. Then it's easy. Just ask. Most people don't ask for the sale. They don't ask for money. They seem to have a blockage when it comes to asking for the sale or money. That's what business is. It's getting a prospect to part with money for your product or service. I had a great bit of advice from one of the top internet marketers in the world. When I asked him about this point, he just said, get over it. You need to do this. And that's always stuck with me. So here's a very critical part that's often forgotten in the sales process. It's the follow-up with your customer. And it serves many purposes. It shows you really care about your customer. Buyer's remorse is reduced because you remind them the reasons why they bought the product or service. And it gives you an opportunity to connect and sell more services to that customer. So I hope you found that short video informative and useful for your business. Now, if you want more information, you can contact us on justin@newrichonline.com.au or go to www.newrichonline.com.au for more videos.